Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. So I'm wondering, did Toyota do this to us on purpose? Or was this kind of just a side benefit, I guess? Before I get into what the heck it is I'm talking about, one thing I wanted to see if you guys noticed, and I'll have to be moving for you to actually hear this, so we got to make this turn. But anyway, what I'm talking about is when you're driving along, and let's say you give the truck a little bit of gas, right? And then for some reason you let off. Maybe you've taken off from a stop sign and you're approaching a car that's going slow, or you're going to make a turn, or who knows. But when I let off the gas and the truck is going back to idle, if you will, or kicking down, I hear an increased kind of, it's not really a grumble, it's more of a throatier sound coming from the truck. Now, let me preface this by saying I did go with the axle dump short exhaust tip. I do not believe that has anything to do with this whatsoever. I think that the truck just kind of kicks down, and I have heard that Toyota puts some kind of sound in the rear speakers so that you get some kind of volume or noise out of the truck. I don't know if that's true. I haven't really found anything to substantiate that other than folks on the web talking about it. So take that with a grain of salt until I actually find something official, like from Toyota in the owner's manual somewhere. I really can't, I can't substantiate that, I guess. But anyway, we're making our turn, so I'm going to get going here. I'm going to give it just a little bit of gas, and I'm going to let off and have a listen, see if you hear this. I didn't really hear it there myself. You'll probably hear it up at the next stop. I've got a car behind me, and I'm on a 55-mile-an-hour road, so trying to slow down is probably not making them very happy. They did change lanes, though. It's a 2-lane road. They don't have to stay behind me. So we'll get back to that in just a minute when I'm in an area where you can more hear it, I suppose. But the other thing, and the main point of the video, I guess, is did Toyota do this to us on purpose? And what I'm talking about is the turbo whir, the turbo sound. Because I hear it more and more, and maybe I'm just paying more attention to it as I'm out driving around, I don't know. But I hear that turbo whir in the background, particularly if I'm beside, I don't know, a bigger vehicle, I guess, where the sound kind of bounces off a little bit better. I can hear it inside the cab. Now, it's not a bad thing, as I mentioned. I kind of like it. It reminds me, strangely, of a diesel, and even more so of like a semi truck. You know, you ever drive down the freeway and you're behind a semi and it's coming up beside you, and then the driver gives it a little bit of gas, if you will, or diesel, and you hear that diesel sound as it accelerates. That's kind of the feeling that I'm getting in this truck. It's very odd to me because obviously it's not diesel. It's certainly not a semi-tractor, but it feels like that to me every time I'm driving around in the truck. It's very odd. And I say it's a benefit because I like it. I think it sounds pretty neat. Now, we're going to get up to speed, or I'm going to give it some gas. I'll be quiet here. See if you guys can hear the turbo in the background. Probably kind of faint in the camera. I don't know. You know, the sensitivity of the iPhone, that's what we're on. Sometimes it's really, really good, and sometimes... There. Did you hear that noise? That kind of... That wasn't road noise. That was that throaty noise I was talking about. Here, let's see if we can duplicate it. There it was again. I don't know how well the camera picks that up, but it's very unusual. I'm going to try it one more time here. right there. It's very strange to me, and I don't know if I ever noticed it until maybe in the last 3 months. I don't know, maybe because I usually have the radio on. Typically when I'm out driving around making videos and stuff, I'm going at a fairly constant speed and I'm not on and off the accelerator. So maybe that's why. It's just the way I've been driving the truck recently. Let's see if we can hear that turbo. I don't know, just such a cool sound. And the reason I say, I wonder if Toyota did this to us intentionally, is because I've had other turbo vehicles. I've had a few, actually, cars, and I never noticed that sound. Now, two of the cars that I had, I suppose, were Audi A4s. And of course, in an Audi, they don't want you to really hear anything, so probably they dampened the sound of the turbos or something, maybe, I don't know. But other vehicles that I've had, they wouldn't have done that. The turbo would have been a benefit, but I never heard it like I do in this truck. And I'm curious, I have seen a few people put on intakes, cold air intakes. A lot of you will call them hot air intakes. But nonetheless, the people have said that that actually increases that sound, makes it more prevalent. And that would be a good thing, I think. The only fear I have is that it would be more like what the Trail Hunter is with the snorkel that it has. And I really don't care for that. That is really, really loud, but I don't think that's so much a turbo sound. It's just an air sucking sound, I guess, is what I would liken it to. And that's from videos and things I've heard from people who actually have the trucks. I would not want that sound. I just want to increase the volume, if you will, of the turbo sound that I hear normally when I'm out here cruising around. So I may do that. There's 2 or 3 of them out there that I would consider. There's one by a company called, I think it's Sixth Element. That one I think is pretty neat. People say you get a lot of sound out of that. There's another, of course, one of the most popular names out there is K&N. That's merely a pipe with an open filter, I guess, is how I would describe that. So I may try one or the other. I think price-wise, the K&N, I think, is actually... There's that turbo whir. I think K&N is a little bit cheaper, but I don't know that it's so much cheaper that it would warrant getting, one over the other. So I have to do a little more research, I guess, and see if one is going to provide more sound than the other. Anyway, I'm curious as to what you guys think. Do you think Toyota did this intentionally, that they've given us this turbo noise because they thought that would be an attraction to the truck? Or is it merely just a byproduct of having their turbo in this truck and it really wasn't intended at all, but it's just there? And let me know what you think that kind of throaty, I guess, coasting sound is. Hopefully you heard it on the camera. I don't know. It's very odd to me. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.